Hi, I'm Heidi Swapp, and this is Create to Remember. And today I wanted to come and show you some of my very favorite little paper embellishment tricks that look great on any card, on any mini book, in any scrapbook page, and can be made with just stuff that you have, which is awesome because usually that, creative energy comes at the most inopportune time, and it's the middle of the night and you can't shop. So you just got to make stuff, right? Which is what I love. Anyway, this scrapbook page kind of epitomizes some of that making your own embellishments for your page. And if you take a look here, the first one that I want to talk about is this dimensional little paper heart. And you can see that I have 3 hearts that are layered on top of each other and sewn right down the middle. And then it's fun because I added a little pennant on a little pin and some little string. So let me show you exactly what I did to create this dimensional heart. I've got one over here, and all you need is a few hearts and a sewing machine. Whenever I cut hearts, I just fold my paper in half, and so I brought my scraps here. I just fold the paper in half and freehand myself a little heart and then cut it, which is what I did for all of these. So you can see here I've got my offcuts. So I chose to do one that was about 4 inches, one that's about 3 inches, and one that's about 2 inches. And they're already folded in the middle because, like I said, I folded them in half when I cut them out. So they're double-sided, and so you can kind of choose whichever side that you want. I'm just going to line them up right on the crease and then stitch right down the middle. I love to have my sewing machine out and handy. You may want to choose different stitch sizes. I usually just use like a 2.5 or 3 if I'm just stitching on paper. So now watch what happens is when I just fold up those hearts a little bit, and it gives it some dimension. You can ink those hearts and even add a little bit of dimensional adhesive behind them, which is fun. But this looks great on a card or even hanging. If you add multitudes, you can even add them on the back, and it kind of creates a dimensional all over, and it's fun to hang them. So really cute little hanging embellishments as well. All right, the next one I want to talk to about is really a fun one and kind of unique. I love the look of creating with book paper, but it's very fragile. And so you worry about it breaking or tearing very easily. So on this book, on the cover of the book, I wanted a book paper ruffle. And so to make it hard, I used the Glam by Tattered Angels. And this is a paint product that is full of glitter and glimmer. So what I did was take any paper that you want to embellish. I just want to make sure that you can see. And a little strip of book paper. And I'm just going to fold it kind of accordion-ish and get myself some creases. Then I'm going to add glue. I'm using Glossy Accents. You can also use hot glue, which is nice because it sticks right away. And I'm just going to press this ruffle into the glue and hold it. Glossy Accents has a 10-second dry time, so just kind of want to hold it for a second. And then when I take the Glam, this is the Chandelier Glam, and I'm going to shake it up to make sure I get the glitter going. And then I'm going to use a fan brush. That's this flat type of a brush. And the great thing is that it applies the Glam evenly and thin, so you don't have like super wet taking forever to dry. All right, so once you paint that on, you're going to set it aside, and you're going to always want to make sure that you rinse out the brush, because if not, that thing will dry into a little rock. All right, here's one that's done, and you can see if you zoom in on this, Look how hard it is. It's just totally rigid. That could be on the front of a book. It could be inside a book. It doesn't crush. It's awesome, and it's just really cool to touch. So that's a really fun, really inexpensive way to add some real wow factor to a scrapbook page or a mini book or whatever. All right, I'm going to show you this other one, and I have a sample of it on a page. Can you see down here at the bottom of the page where I have just this little circular punch border? Well, what I've done there is I've taken just my little 1/2-inch punch, and anything that you have, I'm just going to punch a couple here so I can show you. I'm going to punch, this is a really great use of your scraps, and especially anything that may coordinate with your page, and I'm using some different colors and mixes in there. All right, so I've got a few of them here. And I'm going to show you the finished product first. I'm just going to sew them together in a little mini circle garland. And it's so cute. It's great as a little decoration. It's great on the page. So the tricky thing is that you want to make your stitch about at a 2 so that it's a small stitch. And you're just going to feed these things right in. So here we go. Just one right after another. Don't sew your finger. All right. Now you see at the end, I kind of sewed myself a nice long tail. Now that will give me a piece that I can tie it to something, or even just have little strings that are laying around. You can make them, you can bunch them, or you can give them a little bit more spacing. But whatever you do, they're fun to kind of swag or just make a border. They're so fun and cute. All right, speaking of borders, you can look on this page again that I was telling you about. I made just a really cute little heart, like paper doll type heart border. And, hearts I think are really easy and fun and work on anything. And so what I have is just a 2-inch strip that's been accordion folded over and over and over. And you all know the drill with paper dolls. You just want to cut them. Woo! And I'm kind of freehanding it, but if you don't feel comfortable freehanding it, then you might want to just draw yourself a little heart on there, leaving a section that will be attached. And then once you get your hearts all done, you can ink them up, and it's fun to kind of put some dimensional adhesive behind them, and then as it's laying, it's just kind of zigzaggy, which is a great way to overlay onto pages and onto photos and stuff. The last one, save the best, my favorite for last, and that is these little paper bows. And I love to make them all the time. You can see that I've got one right under the photo on this page over here with a little ruffle underneath it. Now this is something that it's also really good to add the chandelier glam on top of, because then it won't squunch or whatever. It will leave it nice and strong, plus shiny and glittery. Who doesn't love that? So I'm going to show you really quickly how to make this paper bow. And in this case, this is just a 1-inch 12 by 12 strip, or 12-inch long strip. I'm going to come in about 2.5 inches and make a snip in my paper, 2.5 inches in, about half the width of my strip. And I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side on the other end. So I've got 2.5 inches on either end, and when I bring it together, I'm just going to slide my slits together. Then pinch it in the center, and you can already see the bow taking shape. If I trim a little V on each side, then I can take a little scrap of my book paper or any coordinating paper and wrap it around and glue it in place. then I have a cute little bow for my page. Now, just because I couldn't help myself, I've stepped up the paper bow just a little bit into kind of a bow tie shape. So if you cut your paper strip, instead of just being a straight strip, cut it into a bow tie shape. Now this, if you kind of look at it, it looks like two fishes kissing. So that'll help you. Then you're gonna do the same thing, and at the tail of the fish, you're gonna cut either side, opposite sides, so that you can bring it around and slide the slits together, pinch it, and there you have more of a bow tie paper ribbon, paper bow effect. So hopefully I've given you some fun ideas to work with stuff that you just have on hand and get yourself making pretty stuff. So see you next time.